There exists a rare breed of individual, those who do not wait for opportunity, they create it. They do not chase motivation, they command discipline. Lincoln lost, they do not merely hope for success, they engineer it, one focused act at a time. Today, I will share with you 9 unbreakable rules that will mold your mind, sharpen your will. Lincoln lost and carve your name into the stone of greatness. These rules are not for the average. They are for the few, the focused, the disciplined. The elite, there is a great misconception in the minds of men that discipline is a prison. That rules, routine, and responsibility somehow rob a person of freedom. Lincoln lost, but let us correct this illusion now, for it is one of the grandest lies ever accepted by the masses. Discipline is not the cage, it is the key. It is not what confines you. It is what releases you from the shackles of mediocrity, from the weight of procrastination, from the paralysis of indecision. Lincoln, discipline is the foundation of all true freedom, for without it you are a slave to chaos. Now observe the average man. He wakes when he must, not when he chooses. Lincoln lost, he reacts to life rather than commanding it. His days are dictated by emotion, distraction, and urgency. He believes himself free, but in truth, he is bound by his own lack of structure. You cannot achieve greatness on such a foundation. Success does not respond to wishful thinking. It responds to order. Lincoln lost to intention, to discipline, for only through disciplined action does thought become power. The disciplined mind does not argue with the alarm clock. Lincoln lost. It does not wait for the perfect mood, the right time, or external motivation. It moves on command. It does what must be done, when it must be done, regardless of how it feels. Lincoln lost, that, my friends, is freedom. The man who disciplines himself does not require others to discipline him. He governs himself. Lincoln lost, and any man who governs himself cannot be governed by failure. Understand, this discipline is not about doing hard things for the sake of hardship. Lincoln lost. It is about doing right things because they align with your purpose. A life without discipline is a life spent chasing ease. And ease, while tempting, is a thief. It steals your potential, your growth, and ultimately your future. But discipline, it builds, it constructs character, it develops endurance, it multiplies your capacity. Each act of discipline is a deposit in the bank of destiny. You cannot escape the cost. Either you pay with discipline now, or you pay with regret later. Lincoln lost, but make no mistake, you will pay. The wise man chooses the price that compounds. He rises when it's inconvenient. He works when others rest. He trains the body. Lincoln lost, sharpens the mind, guards the spirit. He understands that freedom is not the absence of obligations, but the result of meeting them faithfully. Lincoln lost, the reason most people fail is simply they quit when it gets hard. They negotiate with their goals. They allow their feelings to veto their commitments. Lincoln lost, but few who rise above the noise have made a covenant with discipline. They do not hope for consistency. They demand it. They do not dabble in progress. They pursue it with obsession. Discipline is the invisible architect of every great life. You may never see it celebrated, never see it trending, never hear applause for it, but it is the reason the champions win, the leaders rise, the visionaries build. It is forged in the dark, where no one is watching. It is chosen when no one claps. It is honored when no reward is in sight. Because discipline does not live for the outcome, it lives for the process. Lincoln lost, and here is the truth that many refuse to accept until you become a disciplined person. Your potential remains a theory. You can dream, you can hope. Lincoln lost, you can even plan, but without discipline, none of it manifests. Dreams are cheap. Discipline is expensive. Lincoln lost, and only those willing to pay that price will see their dreams turn into reality. If you want freedom, true freedom, the ability to choose your path, own your time, think and command your future, then admit today. Not when it's easy, not when it's popular, not when someone else tells you to, but now when it matters most. Your destiny is waiting on the other side of consistency. So I ask you, will you wait for discipline to find you, or will you become the one who chooses it daily? That choice, and that choice alone, will determine who you become. There is something more dangerous to your dreams than failure, something more subtle, more deceptive, and far more destructive. It is the divided mind. A mind pulled in 10 directions can go nowhere with force. The man who cannot focus cannot succeed, because focus is the weapon by which the successful cut through the noise of life. And like any weapon, it must be sharpened daily, or it becomes dull, ineffective, ornamental, and eventually useless. We live in an age of endless distraction. The world pulls at your attention with every vibration of your phone, every headline designed to agitate, every platform engineered to keep you scrolling. But here is a truth most men will never admit: distraction is not just an external force. It is a habit, and so is focus. Lincoln lost. You either train your mind to obey your will, or you surrender your will to whatever captures your mind. You cannot build anything great while fractured. You cannot pour your energy into 100 directions and expect excellence to emerge. Greatness demands obsession. It demands clarity. Lincoln lost. It demands that you give your best attention to your highest purpose and refuse to be seduced by the trivial. This is why the man of vision protects his focus like a warrior guards a flame in the wind, because he knows the wind will never stop blowing. And if he allows it to distract him, Lincoln lost. Even for a moment, everything he's building can be lost in smoke. The difference between those who start and those who finish is not talent. It is not even hard work. Lincoln lost, though that is necessary. The difference is concentration. The one who finishes is the one who refuses to let his energy be scattered. Lincoln, he has taught his mind to return, again and again, to what matters most. When his attention wanders, he does not follow it like a lost dog. He brings it back. Lincoln, because he understands that time is not his valuable resource. Attention is. Time without focus is wasted. But focus, even in small doses, can move mountains. Lincoln lost. You must become ruthless with your attention. If something does not serve your vision, it must not be allowed to steal your time. You must learn to say no. Not just to others, but to yourself, to the part of you that would rather drift than drive, to the habits that promise comfort but deliver costs. Focus is not natural. It is trained. Lincoln lost. It is forged in discomfort. It is developed when you choose silence over noise, depth over speed, and purpose over pleasure. There are no shortcuts to this. Lincoln lost. No hack will give you the mental sharpness of a focused man. It must be earned. It must be cultivated with intention. Every morning you rise and choose what gets your energy. Every day you decide whether you will operate with precision or passivity. And those decisions, repeated, shape your destiny. Now ask yourself, what are you focused on? Lincoln lost. Not what you say you're focused on, but what your actions declare. Are you giving your best hours to your goals, or are you sacrificing your potential on the altar of convenience? Lincoln lost. A man becomes what he repeatedly pays attention to. And if your focus is scattered, your life will reflect that fragmentation. Lincoln lost, but if your focus is disciplined, if you direct it like a laser, then you can cut through resistance, doubt, and distraction alike. This is why I say focus must be sharpened daily, not once a week, not when life gets easier. Daily, like the blacksmith with his blade, you must show up, file away the dullness, strike away the weakness, and polish your mind until it becomes unbreakable, until your focus can pierce through indecision and land directly on your purpose again and again. Lincoln lost. The world does not reward the distracted. It does not hand success to the man who dabbles. It honors the one who concentrates fully. Lincoln lost, who pours himself into the task with such intensity that results become inevitable. This is the law of nature, the pattern of all achievement. Not scattered effort. Lincoln concentrated power. So if you seek success, stop chasing everything. Chase one thing, build one thing, master one thing. Lincoln lost. Let the world pull and shout and wave its temptations, and let you calmly and daily return to your mission, because only the focused man becomes the free man. Lincoln lost. Pain is a visitor. It knocks on every door, enters uninvited, and stays longer than we like. But hear me now. Pain is temporary. It may sting, it may scar, but it passes. Purpose. Lincoln lost, on the other hand, is eternal. It is the reason your heart beats with urgency. It is the why behind every worthwhile what. Pain may break the body. Lincoln lost, but only a lack of purpose can break the soul. And yet, so many run from pain the moment it shows its face. They abandon the path, shift course, or stand still. Lincoln lost, hoping life will go easy on them. But life never promised to be easy. It only promised to be worth it, if you choose to endure. The truth is, link your purpose will always demand a price. No great mission comes without sacrifice. No man who ever achieved something extraordinary did so by staying comfortable. The fire you walk through is not there to destroy you. It's there to prepare you, to purify you, to strip away the weakness and leave only the strength. You see, Lincoln, when you understand your purpose, pain becomes fuel. You stop seeing discomfort as a signal to quit and start seeing it as confirmation you're moving in the right direction. A Lincoln man with a strong enough why can bear almost anyhow. He can work without applause. He can endure without praise. He can sacrifice without complaint. Lincoln lost because his eyes are not fixed on what hurts, but on what matters. You must learn to think beyond the moment. Lincoln lost. The man who thinks only in terms of how he feels today will never build a tomorrow worth living in. Lincoln lost. The man who thinks in terms of legacy, who sees pain as part of the process, he becomes unstoppable, for he knows that pain is a tool, not a punishment, but a teacher. It trains discipline. It forges resilience. It builds spiritual muscle. And once you stop avoiding it, you begin transforming it. How many dreams have died not because they were impossible, but because someone refused to suffer for them? Let that not be your story. Do not trade your future for comfort. Lincoln lost. Do not hand over your greatness in exchange for temporary ease. You were not made to avoid struggle. You were made to overcome it. And every step you take through pain is a step closer to your potential. There will be days when it feels like nothing is working. When your energy is low, the doubts are loud, and the results are slow. Those are not signs to stop. Those are signs that growth is happening beneath the surface. Every seed planted must first break before it blooms. Lincoln Lost, the soil is dark, but the purpose is alive. Keep going. Some of you are in pain right now, not just physical, but emotional, mental, spiritual. And I say to you, hold fast. Lincoln Lost, because pain is not permanent. It comes and it goes, like a storm. But purpose is what remains after the rain. It is the sun that breaks through the clouds. Lincoln Lost, it is the reason you rise, again and even when you're tired, even when you're wounded, especially then. And let us not forget, pain is a great revealer. Lincoln Lost, it shows you what you truly value. When things get hard, you find out what you're made of. You find out who you are. Will you break or will you bend and return stronger? Lincoln Lost. Will you give up or will you push through with fire in your heart and vision in your eyes? Because every time you push through pain, you prove to yourself that your purpose matters more than your comfort. And that proof becomes power. Confidence does not come from avoiding difficulty. It comes from surviving it. Lincoln Lost, from knowing that no matter how deep the pain, your purpose runs deeper. So the next time pain greets you, don't run. Stand firm. Lincoln Lost, look it in the eye and remind it. It may slow you down, but it cannot stop you. Because pain is passing, but purpose is permanent. Lincoln Lost, and the man who lives for purpose will outlast the man who lives for comfort every single time. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Lincoln Lost, and you will not reach a destination you haven't decided on. Clarity is not optional. It is essential. It is the starting point of all meaningful achievement. Without it, Lincoln Man may work hard his whole life and still end up lost. He may sweat, sacrifice, let and strive, yet have nothing to show for it because he never stopped to define where he was going. But clarity alone is not enough. It must be married with commitment. Lincoln Lost, for even the clearest vision means nothing if a man does not have the courage to chase it without pause and without excuse. Clarity gives birth to purpose. It gives direction to action. It answers the most vital question a man can ask each you: why am I doing this? When you know your why, you stop dabbling in distraction. You stop chasing trends. You stop comparing yourself to everyone else. Your energy is no longer scattered. It becomes concentrated, focused, laser-like. And with that, Lincoln Lost, you unlock a level of power most men never touch. Not because they can't, but because they never slow down long enough to define what matters. But vision without commitment is still just a dream. Commitment is the force that breathes life into clarity. It is what moves the idea from your head into your hands. It is the daily decision to keep showing up, even when the mood has left, especially then, because true commitment is not emotional. It is intentional. It is not dependent on comfort, convenience, or applause. It is forged in silence and proven in storms. A committed man doesn't flirt with his goals. He marries them. He doesn't say, "I'll try." He says, "I will." And he means it. He means it when he's tired. He means it when it's hard. He means it when the results are invisible. Because he is not committed to the outcome. He is committed to the process. And that is the mindset that leads to elite execution. Execution is the great separator. Everyone has ideas. Everyone has dreams. But only the few who pair clarity with commitment ever bring them to life. Why? Because execution demands endurance. It demands consistency. It demands that you rise each day and strike again, even if yesterday felt like a failure. It is not glamorous. It is not easy. But it is the difference between potential and power. Do not fool yourself into thinking that business is progress. You can run in circles your whole life if you don't know where you're going. Action without direction is chaos. But when your actions are driven by clear intention and sustained by deep commitment, they become unstoppable. You begin to move with purpose. You begin to execute with excellence. And you begin to separate yourself from the average. This world is filled with people who start strong and finish nowhere, not because they lack talent. Lincoln Lost, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they lacked clarity and they lacked commitment. They let their vision get clouded. They let their discipline be optional. They let their emotions decide their effort. And so they fell short, not because they were destined to, but because they chose to. But if you choose differently, if you choose to get clear, crystal clear, about who you are, what you want, and why it matters, if you choose to commit fully, not when it's easy, but when it's hard, then you will unlock a level of execution that few ever touch. You will separate yourself in a world of mediocrity. You will build something that lasts. So define your vision. Make it plain. Know what you want in such detail that no distraction can derail you. And once it is clear, commit like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Lincoln Lost, the life you desire, the man you are becoming, the legacy you wish to leave. They are all waiting on the other side of your clarity and your commitment. And when those two forces combine, when a focused mind and unshakable will move as one, execution becomes inevitable. Now you know the truth most will never grasp. Discipline is not a punishment. It is your pathway to power. Focus is not a luxury. It is your daily weapon. Pain is not your enemy. It is your instructor. And clarity, Lincoln lost, when paired with unwavering commitment, becomes the engine behind elite execution. These are not just ideas. They are laws. They govern every man who has ever risen from obscurity to excellence. But knowledge alone will not change your life. Action will. Lincoln lost, so the question now is not whether you understand these rules. The question is, will you live by them? Will you choose the hard path, the disciplined path, the focused, purpose-driven path that few are willing to walk? Because the elite are not born. They are built, one decision, one sacrifice, one relentless act at a time. Make that decision now and never look back.